C average high school students. Where are you now in life? Nurse. I make great money and IDH is wicked successful. I had a C average in AHS and the C average my first round of college, and I got my shit together. I was Dean's List all through my second try at college and then in nursing school. I'm an OR circulator. And I'm not going to lie. I'm super good at my job. I was a C student on paper. But my soft skills are amazing. Maybe because I was so garbage at the academics. I had to try harder at my interpersonal skills. I tell all the kids, don't give up on yourself because you're a C student. It means nothing if you can be a person. I got out of HS, screwed around freshman year of college, still averaging C's before realizing that real life was waiting at the end of college. So I started taking things more seriously, studied more, but still had plenty of fun, and graduated with a 3.4 GPA if I remember correctly, straight into the Great Recession. Couldn't get a job, so I went to grad school, got my MBA, and had a slightly higher GPA. Now I'm a controller for a manufacturing plant. I make $115,000 base, which isn't a crazy income, but it's comfortable enough for a family of four with my wife's income. CDF student from 7th to 10th grade, switched to community college for the last 2 years of high school, graduated undergrad at 25 with a 3.3 GPA after getting diagnosed with 2 learning disabilities. 20 years after high school, I have a job I love. I've been at my company for 12 years. I make $100,000 and supervise the people. Definitely not the kind of job I would have hoped for back then. I do wish my dad would acknowledge that I did good, though. Not that he deserves any of the credit. I'm a dental hygienist. I was a C student in high school. I did okay, but never studied and didn't care too much. When I went to an early college program, I got straight A's. The program director was surprised and asked what changed. I said that I have to pay for school now, so I'm going to get all A's. Throughout my college career to degrees, both were honors, and my second degree I nearly had 4.0. I'm working as a dental hygienist, brainstorming going back to school for another degree. Got my bachelor's, now working in financial services with celebrities and athletes. Honestly, if you asked me back in 2015 where'd I be in 9 years, I wouldn't say this. Hard work throughout college, and a little bit of luck with applying on company websites got me to where I am. Salary range in my 30s could be anywhere from $200,000 to $300K. I love my job, wouldn't trade it for anything. High school for me was rough, but high doesn't define you. There's so much after that. And I'm walking proof. Making 6 figures as an analyst, semester of algebra in high school, and had to take college algebra 3 times before finally passing with a low C, and I had to take remedial algebra in college after 2 failed attempts at normal algebra. My sister is an accountant, and I used to give her shit for looking at numbers all day. And here I am, looking at numbers all day. To be fair, the critical thinking and problem-solving skills have been more important than anything in my career. I'm semi-retired now. I may be the oldest person doing IT consulting. I barely made it out of HS with my C average. Didn't do any better in college, mostly because I majored in something I had no interest in, accounting. Cut a long story short, I bought a book at the mall on coding, got a job in IT, wrote programs for specialized companies. Eventually opened my own IT company, sold it for a nice amount. Then did it again. I keep my finger in IT, but I am well off for my investments. 2.5 GPA in HS and college, but earned the BBA. Not an academic learner. I have been a ravenous self-driven technology learner for nearly 30 years, built a trusted professional and social network, and have excelled in all aspects of my career. Great house in the safest city in America to kids past High School, adorable partner, and will retire comfortably at 53. High school is just a small blip in a lifetime, and looking back had little to no impact on success or failure past it. Solid C student all the way through college, but I came out with an engineering degree, jumped a couple of times, and then landed a good position in a solid company with decent pay and great benefits. I plan to retire here. Pro tip: your reduction becomes significantly less important when you have relevant experience. There is a ton of contracting companies out there. Apply there, spend a year building your experience, and then apply at companies using this experience. I had no direction after high school and really could not afford college, so I decided to just go right to work instead. I made a conscious decision to be childless, and I'm lucky enough to have parents who don't mind me staying at home, and I make sure a good portion of my check goes to them. 12 years later, I don't have the biggest savings account, but it's mine with no debt. Honestly, no complaints here. With my grades and untreated ADHD, I should be much worse off. Ironically, my time being a merchant in Runescape and Habbo Hotel genuinely probably did more to shape my current life than school did. I'm an online merchant where I restore refurbished vintage items and have a small wood shop. School C average would probably be close to generous, but I love learning to this day. If the education doesn't come at the exact time when I'm enthusiastic to take it in, however, it's a losing battle. I dropped out of high school, but I have a BA in Psych, and I am almost finished with my Master's in Education. I'm an educator, and I love working with kids. I never thought I'd want to step foot in a school again, much less do it every day. But I love what I do. It took me a lot longer than others to get to where I'm in my 30s, but that's okay because at least I feel happy with my career choice, and I feel very fulfilled doing it. 34. Married and have 2-year-old kid. Got my CA before I fell pregnant and went back to work when my son was 15 months old. Surprisingly, I'm good at my job and studied better in my late 20s compared to high school and university self. Had great times though pre-kids. Met my husband young, bought a house early and traveled extensively before we settled down. Have a small mortgage now and about to travel with my family. It took me 3 years to get the associate's degree, and I spent the next years floundering at a university. I gave up before I became a tummy boy. Joke: some people go to school for 7 years and got a job on the railroad, and I've been there ever since. I make a good living, but I do have some regrets. My schedule 100 sucks ass, and I've given the best years of my life to the worst corporate overlords that you can imagine. No college. Got into the trades, bought a house, worked into an office setting, promoted to management, trying to learn and gain experience as much as possible. The industry I want to get into has high barriers to entry. Someone my age, no degree is impossible, but there's a chance with relatable experience and a fancy resume. Sometimes I wish I would have cared more in school, but I'm thankful for where I'm at. I did not apply myself in high school. I started off strong, was the only sophomore in the school's AP physics class. Then I just went downhill. Combination of anxiety and laziness. Now I have a master's degree and have been working cybersecurity for 10-ish years. Anxiety has been under control for over a decade, but the laziness is still there. Thankfully, I enjoy problem solving, which is what keeps my job interesting. I went to college and dropped out due to boredom. Joined the army but blew my knee out before basic. Used the security clearance they put me in for to get a civilian job position in software engineering. Resigned from a decently paying but absolutely toxic work environment. Now I have a pretty high-paying career in software engineering and I invest in real estate. I'm also an international speaker. I'd say I did okay. Graduated high school with a 2.1. Took a year off, went to community college so I could keep studying and find what I enjoyed doing. Ended up graduating college with a 3.9 and 3.7 in grad school. Now I've had a successful early career in defense and diplomacy. Grades aren't everything and one learning style isn't for everyone. Just gotta keep trying and remember it's okay to change directions every once in a while. I was a server for a year or two after high school. Took some college classes during but didn't take it seriously. dropped out, did a program and became a certified orthodontist assistant, got pregnant, became a stay-at-home mother. Now my daughter is 2 and I'm 7 months pregnant with my second. I went back to school once I had my first daughter and have been taking classes online part-time ever since. Got my bachelor's in biology to 0.97 and I am now finishing my master's in biology 3.73. Defended my thesis and now have to do some edits and I'm done. Worked with state-level government in a science role and the pay was just miserable, so I had to do something else. My sales job still deals with wildlife and my education got me the job, but I'm paid at least twice as much money if I'm just mediocre in sales. I got into college and attempted it for a semester. It was hell. I hated it, dropped out, worked and did drugs. Then went back to school for my associates that took me 3 years. Now I work in accounting and I am no longer young and dumb. Honestly though, I always hated school and nothing ever interested me. And the worst thing for me and many people is trying to go away to a university when you're 18. My 1.7 high school GPA turned into a 3.6 undergrad GPA because I activated about those classes. That turned into a 3.9 GPA for my master's or teaching full-time because I actually cared about what I was learning. Now I'm an administrator at a school, focusing mostly on making schools better serve kids because I understand how the old systems made delinquents out of so many bright kids.